Hello, and welcome everybody to Shotcast, episode number 85. We're here with an absolute banger. We got two very special guests. We got Ferra, we got apparently Jack, and we have a formal apology from me, myself, Rizzo. I didn't realize it, but you guys, a lot of people in the comments have let me know that I am a G2 hater. And we didn't mention G2 enough in the last episode. 102 mentions was not enough, so we're gonna try to at least make it 204. We're gonna double it at least. We're not even gonna count it. We're just gonna probably do it per chance. We just gotta talk.
You've done it already. We've already said G2 3 times minimum, so we're adding to the tally. But yeah, there was a lot of comments on the most recent Shotcast episode saying we didn't praise G2 enough. So we brought on two of G2's biggest fans, Ferra and Jack, to do that for us. Because I don't think they even believe anything we say anymore. Like after the all of the attacks in social media that CJ, Rizzo, and I have had last week, nothing we say would even hold any value anymore. They would all just be considered copium. So yeah, Ferra and Jack, if you could please just honestly say G2 as many times as possible for the transcript. But if you have any thoughts on G2, especially at this time, now is the time to share them.
Please provide.
It's kind of like a confession, I guess.
Yeah,
since you
G2,
guys don't
Jack.
have any relationship to G2.
Oh wait, is this a serious thing?
Yeah, like how they go, grand final performance, winning the major, just thoughts on them.
I think Rizzo's the main kind of culprit for this. I don't think it's fair for me to join in and just and make up for his mistake. That's not why I do it.
I actually do respect that. That is really fair. That is really fair from Jack there. I also am just kind of confused on how I got dragged into being like a G2 hater here. Like Johnny
former G2 player.
Johnny makes sense. I get that. CJ,
G2 employee.
I don't even know if he has an OC bias, but like I don't know. I used to work
I get dragged into any region depending on what people pick and choose. I'm all about the NA, baby. I'm about G2, and I think it's honestly, I love it. I love the discussions. I think the whole G2 versus Falcons unforced versus forced errors is a fantastic analytical debate, which could hold us over until the World Championships at this point. There's updates to updates. If you haven't watched T-Bates or Fears videos, check them out. I think it just drives discussion and once again proves that we are a truly global esport. There's anyone can argue that their region is the best if you're from EU, MENA, or North America at the moment. So I think it's perfect debate.
So the whole unforced error discussion thing, did it start on Reddit? Is that where it began, or did it start with T-Bates? Where did it start? It might was. I don't know if the original Reddit was a response to T-Bates or not, but I know we talked about it a touch on the top 25 stream that we did recently, and then there's a Reddit post, a massive Reddit post about how many unforced errors Falcons made in the final, and then there's I think T-Bates analysis video of, or maybe that came first. I think T-Bates analysis might come first, but yeah, then Fears made a response video, then the Redditors made a response to Fear. It's all kicking off. I don't know if Fear's cooking up a response video as we speak. He could be, but the whole a debate, I think is a bit silly. I think nobody can even agree what an unforced error is in the context of Rocket League. That's why we brought Jack, who's a former tennis professional. Unforced errors are a very common thing in tennis. So what's your understanding as a former tennis main of an unforced error? Because people seem to think that, okay, if a team in attack did anything good whatsoever, then clearly that caused a mistake from the defender, and that makes it a forced mistake. But that not my understanding of it. I think an unforced error is a little bit more broad than that. But Jack, what are your thoughts on unforced errors?
Like you said, it's a bit of a weird thing to kind of name and have in Rocket League, because anything can be counted as a mistake if you truly look into it, and anything can be counted as a good play if it gets bailed out by a teammate, kind of thing. So it's very weird. Because you're looking at a lot of different factors. Some can claim that they were boost starved here, or they were forced onto 30 boosts so they could only clear the ball here. Is that an unforced error or not? I think the term just doesn't belong in Rocket League pretty much, or not as loosely as it is in or not loosely, sorry, not as strict as it is in tennis, for example. Because you can see when the opponent's hitting the ball in tennis, you can see if it was forced, kind of thing. If there was actually something that was kind of pressing them to make a mistake. In Rocket League, it's not as easy.
Well, Let me give you an example because this is the level, this is the extent that we're getting into this analysis. Now, I'll mention one of the debates for the unforced or forced errors. Jack, if I have 100 boost with a free hit, but I'm aware that my teammates have 0 boost and I do a poor hit, is that an unforced or a forced error because I'm worried about my teammates' boost amount whilst being on the ball?
This is
actually let's just paint a picture here.
Wait, so you have 100 boost, your team says 0?
Yep. I've got a free hit, but I do a bad touch. Is that because my team, I knew that my...
Because he's saying, yeah, you're under pressure because your teammates are saying they're boost starved and that puts pressure on you. So you mess up your hit.
No, that's not a forced error. That's obviously just an enforced. If you wanna, if you're going that deep, it's obviously enforced at that point. I just think Rocket League, you literally can't. You can't make this term a thing.
I think it could work, but there needs to be a much clearer definition of what an unforced error is. Because in Rocket League terms, some people don't. Some people think that okay, I see a mistake that I didn't expect. That's unforced, clearly. And some other people think, well, there might have been a mistake, but there was a boost steal at mid 10 minutes ago that might have affected that, butterfly effect. So actually, it's forced. Like we're way too broad, and there's no actual definite. Nobody's agreed on what that actually means. So it doesn't work. You can't have a discussion about this because nobody can agree what is being discussed. But yeah, it's kind of a pointless discussion anyway. I think it all boils down to G2 fans want everybody to say that the peak that G2 had in the grand final was the highest peak of any team in the tournament in the world. And Falcons fans are saying, nah, actually Falcons peaked higher in the semi. That is what it boils down to. And that is what people can agree to disagree on if they want to. But that is what the real argument is.
I think you're assuming there, Johnny.
That's what I think it is.
I think you're assuming. And
I think that's what it is.
You ever heard what they say about assuming?
What do they say about
assuming makes an ass of you and I, Johnny. That's what they say. Okay, so you shouldn't be sitting here assuming, talking all that shit about G2, okay? Because we know G2 is the best team in the world, clearly, and you still haven't said it for some reason, and you keep going back to Falcons. We should be talking about G2.
No, I tweeted it. I mean, what more do I got to do? I tweeted it. That's evidence. It's they're playing there to see on the timeline. I put them at number one in the world.
Oh, well, there you have it. I guess as simple as that. No, this unforced errors
it's pretty simple
conversation as well. The reason we even brought it up is because it was on Reddit for like a week, and it was a pop and post. Like people were commenting on this a bunch. Then there was another update thread. Basically, somebody went through all the goals and was determining like whether G2 outplayed Falcons or if Falcons were just kind of trolling, sort of thing. Didn't really make much sense. I think at the end of the day, to me, the gist of it is like this whole thing is pointless. I think it's a cool conversation as long as it's like a common conversation, but in the context of why this came up, it's kind of lame. And I think the credit should just go to G2. G2 played great in the finals. They got the dub in the finals. Congratulations. Like, that's kind of it.
So do you think that saying that a team choked in a final or a semi or any match in Rocket League, do you think that saying a team or a player choked takes away from the accomplishment of the team that beat them?
I think so. Yeah, I would say so to an extent. But like I would say completely.
Yeah, I don't think it does. I really don't think it does. But I want to hear it. I want to hear why you think it does.
Would you say BDS choked in the quarterfinals? Would you say BDS played great?
In the quarterfinal versus Gentlemates? Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like Gentlemates, I think of...
No, you're trolling. You have to be trolling.
No, I think BDS absolutely, yeah, they choked on LAN like 2 times in a row in bracket. They look shocking versus their online self.
I thought you said they played great. I thought you said BDS played great.
No. They definitely choked. Yeah, they were awful. No, they choked. Like the level that we expected from BDS coming into the event versus what we saw, like that, you can't explain that versus like, I don't think a simple bad day gameplay explains that. That's a choke. You have to be mentally in the bin or completely lacking confidence for that to happen. But the reason I don't think it takes away from the accomplishment is because the mental game is so important in Rocket League. Confidence is everything. And if one team shows up and doesn't choke, the other team does choke, that is part of the competition. So simply not choking is winning a lot of the time. Just simply, having a high floor and being consistent. So I don't know, maybe people just think it's I think a lot of people agree with you, Rizzo, that they think that saying team A choked is putting down on the team that beat them. But actually, I think it's just you have to acknowledge when a team
part
underperforms.
of the game.
You can't just say every final's
Yeah,
amazing
like-
and every final's the same.
Like people might say
that would be bad analysis.
People might say like in the mates, like I think this is I feel like this is another dumb conversation, but I think the term choked is a little bit too vague. And like I was playing Trackmania earlier and I messed up on my PB and somebody said I choked. And it's just like, okay, did I I don't know the map that well, did I really choke? But like,
yeah,
like,
there has to be an expected level for a
exactly.
choke to make sense, or if this is the expected level,
BDS
like the
choked 'cause they
range,
were
and you're
awful. I
here
wouldn't say Falcons choked because they played well. I would say regardless.
in the tournament, yeah, in the final, I think they definitely choked. I think they were super nervous, probably.
First 3 games, I'd say they played well. After that, I would say they were kind of a letdown.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they weren't as bad as the tail end of the series at the start for sure. Yeah, they were definitely playing better at the start.
I think you can just say like it happens in any sport. Like G2 were the better team on the day. G2 were the better team in that
It's
series.
simple.
Like that's just the facts. They played a lot. Obviously, they look fantastic. They look a lot better than Falcons. I think you can say that in every series though. I don't think it's not like every series we played, both teams play perfect, and then just the pure best team wins. It's just like whoever's the best team in that series, and that happens in every single series we play. But I want to ask Ferra, because he spent a lot of time hate watching this event, and then a lot of time probably just enjoying it as a fan. What were your thoughts on LANdon? The matchups, the teams. Were you impressed by any teams? Are you scared by? Are you intimidated by the level?
No, overall, I think it was. I mean, talking about my region, Europe, I think it was quite a poor showing from our region compared to our standards. Obviously, because we didn't make the finals, but overall, only Gentlemates really showed up, which actually is a surprise in itself because I feel that was the team with the less momentum going in again. So I think they're really able to find something on LAN. I disagree with people saying they're always favorites. I think they're able to step up, but that doesn't make them favorites going into any event. And apart from them, yeah, I've been disappointed in BDS because they were extremely good online, and the quarterfinals you guys were talking about was bad. Talking about unforced errors, I think all of the goals were pretty unforced, and every time Gentlemates was clearing on target, it was straight in. So yeah, just talking about these teams, I was not impressed, but overall, I'm not surprised by the end result. Falcons and G2, I think, were the 2 best teams coming to the event, and yeah, at the end of the day, we got the right bracket for them to beat in the final. Obviously, it wasn't the best finals because it was a bit one-sided, but I agree with Johnny here. It's part of the competition. You cannot play at your best all the time, and I know a lot about that about that this season. Finding consistency and leveling up your floor is part of it. You cannot play at your best, and you have to find wins even when you play badly. And if you're not able to, well, the other team deserves it. That's as far as it goes, I think.
What do you think of BDS, or what do you think are their issues? Obviously, you're probably quite happy that they're not dominating and just coming in with a crazy high level to some degree, since you have to play against them. But what do you think's going wrong with that team on LAN?
I don't know. Even if they won, I don't think I would have been worried. As long as Oxygen was not making the finals, I was happy because 3 months in this game is a long time, and no matter the result in London, everything is gonna change for Worlds. So as long as talking just about my team, as long as we work well during the summer, we will be confident no matter what. So the result doesn't really matter to me. But talking about BDS, I think they're experience, which is weird to say when you're talking about Monkey Moon and Exotic sometimes, but I don't know, Drally looks inconsistent from what he's really, really able to do, and from how the team gels around him. And online it doesn't show up at all. They look so disorganized compared to their usual selves online. And they're so consistent online and they're so inconsistent online, it makes it for a weird showing. I think they know they have issues on LAN, so yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, but I think Rizzo, TJ, and Jack, you've all played on LAN, and yeah, the game is different on the feeling is different, especially in front of the crowd. It's it's different, and if you're not used to it, even one player can really mess up the whole team. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. I remember when Dradi first came in, especially to the to RCS in but I guess it was the start of the season, and I thought he looked quite, nervous in his kind of first big series in the playoffs and stuff on regionals, and then same on the first LAN, and yeah, similar. I don't know necessarily if it was even Drali in this last quarterfinals though. Honestly, I thought.
yeah, but
I
maybe
mean, I've not.
it's the comms, it's the intensity.
Yeah, yeah,
It can come from everywhere. Like I'm not pointing at him
No,
specifically,
no,
but
absolutely.
there is a reason this team doesn't show as many good things as they do on online. Just like there is a reason why Gentlemate is stepping up
Yeah.
compared to their usual selves. That's there.
I actually haven't watched the replays yet from that like Gentleman's BDS quarterfinal series because whenever you're looking, obviously I was watching it in the crowd at the time, and whenever you're looking up at a big screen watching the game, you can never truly see. Like you always think it looks pretty good,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah,
From what
it's
I
true.
can tell, like it always looks pretty good. You can never truly see the mistakes. So I actually thought it was more Gentlemates playing insane than it was BDS not playing
Oh, I
great.
bet if you watch it
No.
online or if you
Yeah,
watch
no.
it back, you'll be like,
Watching back
whoa.
right now.
Watching online was tough. I'll say. I'm
Yeah,
like,
probably.
No, that's true
So-
though. Like when you watch it in person, you don't have the
Mhm.
best angle on the big screen. Like everything just looks better because it's
I
harder
remember
to
me
tell
and
what's really
Chronic,
going on.
me and Chronic next to each other were just like, bro, these guys are peeking out their mind. They're playing the best Rocket League I've ever seen because you literally can't tell. They look like they were controlling like every ball from like impossible angles almost. But I wanna see the replays. But
Yeah. What are
yeah.
your guys' thoughts on well, I want to ask what was your guys' expected level for Vitality to be at? I imagine Jack, you would have scrimmed them a bit and seen what their level was like. You played them. They looked really good in Swiss, and then Radosin got sick in the playoffs, so it's really hard to rank them because we don't really know where they're
Vitality.
at. Yeah, Vitality. So I don't know if you have any guess of how strong would you say they really are? Because they got beaten pretty easily in the quarters by Furia. Furia did look good.
So I think that team right now like is a little different to what they used to kind of play like in terms of if the other team is making mistakes, they'll win the series. But if a team is kind of playing at their level, if the team is like pressuring them and playing well on the ball, they seem to not win the series, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
We lost them in five, and we played very badly in the first two games, and we lost a fairly close game five. But it does seem to be a little bit, if the other team is making a few mistakes, then they do capitalize on it, but they don't bring it to the other teams right now, from what I see. If that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah, I get you. Ferra, would you agree with that analysis? Is that kind of what you see with KC Vitality? I mean, I imagine you're still scrimming them. You see a lot of their gameplay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I expected from them this event. I don't think I saw them any higher than top 4. So I think they came close to it because the Swiss stage was good, and if the format was the same than what it's going to be at Worlds, they would have been pretty like I would have been more likely to make top 4 instead of bombing
Yeah.
out in the quarters. So I still think their level is around that, like between 4 and 8, I'd say. But they look far from what from their peak. Like they look. Yeah, I think I joined with Jack on that. It's like if you're playing solid and consistent, they're gonna have a much harder time winning against you than back in the days last year.
Yeah.
Where
Right.
like where you had to actually pick on us to beat us at various points, which doesn't look the same anymore, to be honest. Like they've lost many series this season where they did not particularly look really impressive.
Yeah.
And lastly, what about Oxygen? Obviously, Ferro is hate watching, so he loved it.
He
But
was doing rituals. I saw him. He was praying to any form of being that he could to try and get those boys out of the tournament, and it worked.
yeah, Jack, you played them, beat them. So you got over your Oxygen curse, a little bit of an Oxygen curse maybe in the past, but yeah. What do you think happened to Oxygen? 'Cause they were nowhere near their required level. In order
Yeah.
to, I mean, their goal was top 2, obviously, so they had a high goal, but they were miles off. They didn't make top 8.
I'm good friends with the Oxygen boys, but I think they won't mind me saying I don't think any of them played up to their individual level, to be honest. Um, we're going into scrims before the tournament, and people think that scrims don't matter at all, and I kind of disagree now. Scrims are actually pretty accurate, especially going into a LAN. They're very accurate. Falcons were insane in scrims, and it pretty much showed. So yeah, they are very, very accurate nowadays. And Oxygen, like whenever we played them in scrims, we felt like pretty comfortable against them. We kind of felt like we understood what they struggled with a little bit. So we did expect to kind of win that series, but so like apart from that series, I can't really speak on anything else because I didn't watch too much of their gameplay. But from what I saw, it just looked like none of them would have been happy with how they were playing individually. I think if they were at Worlds, they would have figured it out and put in a bit of a better performance. But obviously, it's a little too late now, which is disappointing for them. But obviously, Ferra's here, so I'm not. Don't say it. I'm disappointed. Sorry.
As long as you want to get Oxygen, I'm really happy about
there
that.
you go.
I'm really thankful for that, to be honest.
There you go. But yeah, I wasn't too impressed by them. That's the final kind of thing I'll say, which I think is fair. I don't think they'll be too impressed by themselves.
I think at least for them, they had, you want it in your own hands, or maybe you don't because Ferra got to sit at home and qualify for Worlds, but at least they were able to go to the tournament and know, if they were able to get top 2, they could do it. Unfortunately, they couldn't. But Ferra, obviously, as we said, you were watching at home, watching the boys.
Not even.
What were you doing while you were watching the tournament?
To be fair, like I rarely stress anymore, but like watching a team control your own destiny is the most stressful situation you can be in. So like I watched like the very first series against Power, I watched it and it was good fun, obviously. And I think that's the one series where it really put them in the bad spot, because what losing this series meant, it meant like every good team they had to face from now on was not for qualifying, but it was to get to a qualifying spot, and it meant they had to win 2 good teams in order to qualify instead of 1, which they would have if they beat Power in the first series because of their seeding. So this one was really important. Yeah, they didn't look good. They looked uninspired, especially on offense. They still have great defense, with I think they showed online as well. But yeah, on offense they looked uninspired. And yeah, when a team was playing fearless, which specifically Power went into it like that. It looked. It worked really well, and I think Oxygen kind of maybe got like the stakes got into their head. They were not playing for the same stakes than everyone else. Like they were playing for Worlds. Many teams did not play for Worlds because they were already secured. Only Secret, Twisted Minds, and a couple of other teams were having the same stakes on the matches.
And Mobula, if they won the event, Mobula could make it.
Mobula as well.
Didn't they look good early too?
For sure.
Especially round 1, 2, and 3.
And I think this plays a part, like mentally, if your whole season is on the line, it's definitely not the same than just playing an event where in 3 months you're just gonna play Worlds again. So
yeah, I'm not trying to take anything away from Oxygen's bonus, but I think they choked a little bit there as well. So
Ferra, when Power won round 1, I think you were booking your tickets to Fort Worth after that. I don't know if there's any coming back. They had as you said, once you lose that first round, I know you have to lose 3 times, but it was going to be very hard from there for Oxygen.
They had to bounce back really, really hard. So
yeah, they couldn't. Well, I mean, top 2 is going to be hard enough in an event like that. It was obviously a stacked event, but well done to you. You're able to sit at home a little bit nervous. Well, actually, not nervous for too long. They're out pretty early. And now we have our teams locked in for the World Championships, which brings me to our next discussion. Now, this is a bit of a key one here because there's a long time until the World Championships. There's still 2 months. Maybe just under. I don't know. Actually, no, it'll be 2 months.
It's 2 months, yeah.
So it's still a long time. There's which means teams need to practice. It means teams need to be staying hot, or at least improving, grinding, working towards that the ultimate goal is the World Championship. And to do that, there have been some off-season tournaments, because it feels like we're in the off-season, but some interim tournaments to the World Championships, such as the Shift Summer League, such as some other tournaments. And there's been a lot of discussions around some teams not participating, particularly over in Europe. Now, North America, credit to them. I feel like most of the teams participating in some off or some interim tournaments. But in Europe, Ferra, particularly in France, also some French teams have opted to not participate. Now, just to lead into this, there's been a bit of a discussion around, I think it started with Jeff from Resolve, the CEO of Resolve. He basically tweeted, hey, there's a lot of teams that aren't participating in these tournaments. Basically, the reason is that they feel they need some appearance fees. Basically, the esport contracts are too high. Players aren't like, or they're all not like apparently Jack, who are doing content and maybe earning their keep a little bit better with some content with YouTube videos, stuff like that. And the teams, orgs aren't making money from Rocket League. So they kind of maybe appearance fees, getting paid to play in a tournament, not just to win a tournament, could be one of the band-aids or the answers to this. And he dropped in there that the French teams or French orgs have been requesting appearance fees to play. Ferra, talk to us. What's going on?
Talk to me.
First of all, I will preface this by saying I'm not a KC spokesperson. So what I say is only my opinion, and only, only holds true, I guess, for our own roster, but it's not the final reason as to why this decision was made and to why BDS or Vitality or any other team decided to not participate because there is multiple reasons. So yeah, I guess it's only my opinion and not Casey's opinion, and it's important for me to say that. Yeah, so the Resolve CEO or COO made a tweet about this. I don't think it was fully accurate. From what I understand, from what I believe as well, the organizations they understand their brand, they understand their brand value, they understand everything they bring into a tournament. And I think as a tournament organizer, if you want to make money out of a tournament, which is, I guess, the case for Shift League and any third party organizer, like they're not dropping 40K to run a tournament and expect no return on investment. Just like an org is not paying salaries to expect no return on investment. Just like Rocket League is not running the game at a loss. Everyone is trying to make money. I think the expectations around that is that if the TO is making, I don't know, some kind of return on investment on that, the org that feel they bring more value to a tournament kind of feel they want to have a part in it, or like have some kind of value brought back to them in a way, if that makes sense. That's my read. That's my read on the situation, and it's not really necessary in terms of like salaries are high. Yes, orgs are losing money in this game. Yes, I think the Gen Z CEO touched on that. Like the sales first quarter were disappointing apparently. Like there is a lot going on. Like it's a business after all, and if the org that's paying your salary is saying, hey, for like, in order for like the scene to keep growing and to go in a way that's sustainable for us, we need to like not take part in this. To me it just makes sense. Like it's they're not willing to give their like brand away for no reason, for nothing, and the cash prize is not enough, and there is just
are the orgs asking for a participation fee on top of the current prize pool, or are they asking for a prize pool?
Well, I
do
understand that it's
sure.
not. I'm pretty sure it's not that they want because some orgs cut the prize pool between themselves and the players by various amounts. Some orgs don't, some do. But I'm pretty sure that this is not related to prize pool cut. It's not like they don't want the TO to make the cut, pay the players this much, the org this much. They want a completely separate pot of money to go appearance fee to the org to play and to have the brand participate in the tournament. And then the prize pool is the prize pool. And if they cut the prize pool as well, I don't know. But that's not the same.
I think there is a lot as well. Like it's not just about money; it's about like what you can do with the like. There is a lot of conditions, and like when I talk about like orgs getting value out of a tournament, it's not just money. It can be all other valuable things, like I don't know, like putting your own sponsors on stream. I don't know, doing something with the content that you're being asked to do. Because you're paying salaries to players, you're paying salaries to coach, you're paying salaries to staff, and if someone is using them and not allowing you to, I don't know, do anything with it, you're kind of paying for something that doesn't get you any value. So like value can mean a lot of things, like it can be just money upfront, or it can be, I don't know, many other things that an org can find valuable, which I do not know. And I think out of all of the orgs that opted out, I think some of them have like various requests, and like none of them, I'm not even sure all of them are like aligned on the same things. Like all of them have different goals. There is different context. Like KC and Gentlemates, for example, do not bring the same audience to a tournament than Vitality or BDS, for example. So they do not function the same way. So they have different types of requests. But obviously, I think talking about like those orgs in particular, especially like Mates and KC, and we've all seen the viewership decision. We've all seen, the benefits we get from having them in the scene. They realize it as well, and I think it's important we, find middle grounds instead of trying to force orgs to accept, I don't know, invites that are, based on, you bring the same value as Jobless, who has no org, who has no nothing behind them, and no, that.
Well, yeah, they feel hard done by, because there's definitely more benefit to a tournament like Shift, Summer League, if KC play versus a team that don't have any following, don't have any live stream views, don't bring any viewers or branding. There's more value to the tournament if KC plays. So KC, for example, probably thinking, hey, so you're getting more by us playing. What do we get? Which is a totally fair question. Just to put it in perspective for everybody who's not been following with the announcements of this league, there is a $20,000 US dollar prize pool for Europe, 20,000 for America, 6 invited teams in each region, and I think 4 teams qualify through 4 separate qualifiers. If I remember correctly, I can't see that on the page.
This is also a league,
Wikipedia.
right? So how long is it? I feel like that
it's a whole month.
3 weeks, I think, between the middle of July and the start. I think it finishes around about first week of August. So it's like kind of just in that gap between. Now and I guess Esports World Cup is going to happen, and then Worlds is going to happen. But you mentioned there, Ferra, that there's other value that can be given besides an appearance fee of cash. I imagine you're like referring to things like view parties or actual
it can be
ownership
that, but like
content.
that exactly. That doesn't mean Shift was. I actually do not know. I wasn't part of those discussions.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know what the rules are.
I do not know. But the thing is, like, some TO. And I'm not talking about Shift in particular. Some TOs have like very specific rules when it comes to viewing parties. Some do allow them, some do not allow them. Some allow for them to have your own sponsors on them. Some do not allow for you to have your own sponsor on them. And it's like it's very different conditions every time, and it's very different stuff every time. And I understand a point from a company that has their own sponsor to be like, oh, we want to make money out of something that we pay for, which is the case. Like I've seen people saying, oh, why do not they accept the invite? It's free money. It's not, and the cash prize is not free money because you still have to, perform well enough to get some of it. And when talking about like this specific event, we're talking about per region, it's 20K. If you win the whole event, it's 9K.
Yeah, 9K.
The players take a share of it, but let's say we take the Resolve CEO numbers, which is the org takes 20% of it. 20% of 9K is 1,800.
Very good. Well done.
How much do you think a Rocket League team costs to run in a year? And you're asking them to pay to like, I don't know, like it's not. I'm not saying 1,800 is a very small amount of money, but for an org, when the salaries are extremely expensive, running a Rocket League team is extremely expensive. It's not like you're not surviving of playing in Shift League. That's the thing. Like this tournament does not hold prestige yet. And on like that's also one thing, like an organization can feel, like, oh, okay, we need to play the World Championship, for example, because the tournament is prestigious. Like, brings so much value in itself that obviously you're gonna want to be part of it. But Shift League or any third-party any third-party TO that comes in and be like, yeah, we want to run a tournament and invite every top team in the world. Hey, if you do not exist before, if you do not bring any value by yourself first, then I understand the point of any company be like, hey, we can give you something, but you gotta give us something as well. Like, it has to go both ways. We cannot give you everything first.
Well, I can't speak. I don't know the behind the scenes about Shift League. I'm not organized.
Me neither. I'll be honest. Me neither. I'm just saying this is the type of stuff I expect.
I was just gonna say
the decision that have been taken.
Yeah, I just wanted to preface what I was going to say, that I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I can be fairly certain if the prize pool of a tournament is $20,000 for the European Shift Summer League, there's definitely not going to be enough monetary budget available to pay orgs like KC, Vitality, BDS, Gentlemates.
No, not a lot.
Sufficient. It's not going to be like whatever budget there is available for appearance fees. If the prize pool is 20K, the appearance fee budget is not going to be it's not going to be more than the prize pool. That's for sure. It's maybe going to be max
something
half
people
the prize
have
pool.
to
That's not that much.
So something like people were saying, even let's say we win the whole event, the org takes whatever percentage of the prize pool. Let's just stick with the 20% number, 1,800. I'm pretty sure an org is still gonna lose money out of it, because actually it's hidden costs. By following a tournament, by bringing your community into it, by having a social media manager following the tournament, by having someone put content over it, by having people following your team around, you're like taking resources out of your stuff from your org, which you pay for and which cannot be used to follow another team. So I don't know if there is a world championship in another game and they have another tournament going on. It's either you play this tournament and maybe you just don't put any resource towards it, but then it's like, kind of, why are you doing it?
Wait, so what kind of resources are we talking about? Like, obviously social media manager, you mentioned there, like tweets.
It's just a bunch of it could be bootcamp costs. I'm not saying any team.
But you're not going to bootcamp for Shift League. Come on, nobody's bootcamp for Shift League.
No, I'm not.
The question with it then is,
I'm not saying that, but
no, I understand for bigger
that can add up. Yeah. I'm not just talking about Shift.
I just wanted to say that there has to be like a budget option to run a tournament with 2 tweets throughout the whole thing, or 0 tweets. But just play a tournament, 0 actual cost. Because it is free to play a tournament. There's no sign up fee. The players could technically play for free at 0 cost to Carmine Corp, like 0 money would need to be spent, except their players' salaries. But I assume they're getting paid anyway. So I don't see the. I mean, yes, they could sink money into it.
You can. I mean, if that's the thing. Like, if you play a tournament, like if you if you pay players to play a tournament and you're not trying to get value out of it, why are you doing? You know what I mean?
Prize money is value. So I'm just saying, prize money is value. So if the players just play and you don't do any support for the tournament, you don't do anything about it, you just let the players play.
But then you cannot go on forever like this. And I think those orgs.
I understand. I get what you're saying.
They've been in the. Let me finish. They've been in the sport like for years. Like, not Gentlemates, granted, but like KC have been in it for like 3 years. Vitality for 5 years, 6 years. BDS pretty much the same. We've been, and I say we because I have been part to like Vitality as well. I've actually played many third party tournament. I've played a lot of them and I've won a lot of them. And actually, before this event in particular, it was mostly NA teams that were declining to join most of the time. So I find it very funny that the conversation suddenly be very, very aggressive towards French teams when it's pretty much the first time.
Well, I mean, that's because of the reason though. When the reason gets leaked or tweeted or whoever is saying that it's appearance fee versus the players couldn't be bothered, that's different. That's laziness versus chaos.
No one from any org has truly spoken about it. Like,
someone from
a different org leaked it, but you cannot know if like the actual reason is.
Well, you're not outright declining it, Ferra. No orgs like KC, BDS, Vitality, or anyone has declined it. So I'm going to assume that there might be something to that, leak. If nobody said that's nonsense, that's not
no
the
one
reason.
cares because it's no one's business at the end. Of the
Maybe they're just so far.
Yeah, I think Ferra's point is that it's not exactly like the orgs are playing victim, let's say, because they're not complaining about it. It's all happening behind closed doors. The only information that's come out of it is by a different kind of party, which means that even if you can have an opinion that it is a wrong decision from the org to want an appearance fee, they're not complaining about it publicly. I think my main issue about it is like why would I think you're hitting the wrong points on why this is the correct thing to do instead of thinking about why the overall issue is actually an issue in the first place. So if your whole thing, Ferra, if one of your main points is that like
I was not finished, but you can go on.
Okay, well I'll let you finish after. But if like at least one of your points was the overall cost for running a team is X amount, and they take 20% of the prize pool, let's say 20% as a general figure, then is the main issue not on alternate things, for example, being the prize pool split being so favored towards players? And I don't want to shoot myself in the foot here because I'm very obviously privileged to be getting a prize pool split as high as we are, but is that not the main issue and not other things that you're talking about?
Sorry,
should there be a more org favored prize pool split? Basically?
No, I don't think prize pool has really anything to do with that. To be honest, like I think prize pool is gonna be at the end of the day for the players. Like I don't think we're gonna be escaping this situation anytime soon because of the way contracts have been signed and because of the way the esports climate is right now. I don't think.
Can I ask a question on that? Can I ask a question related to that then? So if appearance fee became the norm, and it totally could be, that would be a functional system in some ways. Let's say that their prize pool remained 20k and there was like 100 grand in appearance fees behind the scenes, and that is just straight to the orgs. What is more interesting and more of a hype tournament? That version where the prize pool's 20k, appearance fees, nobody really knows about that. It's like just, these orgs are participating, I guess they were paid. Or 120,000 prize pool, and the orgs just take like 80% of the prize pool from the players and say, hey, this is our appearance fee because we are the brand, we pay you a monthly salary. It's basically a down payment on future prize money you're going to make. So if you win money, that's you paying back for the all of the monthly salaries. I think it could work in like massive prize pool, like favored towards the org. It would accomplish the same thing, and it would be competitive.
Why is this prize split thing always been like this? This doesn't make sense compared to any other regular sport that players or like not the team or the sponsor or the org gets any cut of. Like it's so weird to me. I think that orgs realistically, if you're paying players 10k a month, 6k a month, whatever it is, you're paying them 120 grand a year. I think that the org should get the majority of this prize pool. The reason why these players, in my opinion, in a perfectly, well-structured, well-laid out ecosystem of esports, the more you get paid, you're probably a better team, which means you're going to do better, which means you're going to win more money for the org, which is why you're getting paid more because you're a better team. And that's your income is from, you might get a bonus. Say if it's football, if it's basketball, whatever it is, you still get these bonuses along the way for winning stuff. So you could have, if you're an org, you could sign a team like a K Corp and say, hey, we'll give you guys 10k a month. And if boot you camp, make
XYZ
boot camps,
support,
everything else,
coach, mental coach, psych coach, all this support.
Because and they know then, hey, we know that we're competing for a season of $4 million prize pool or something. We could potentially win X amount of money if we win everything. So then K-Corp can go, okay, that's how much money we're going to win. And then you can say, hey, if you guys make Championship Sunday, if you guys make the top 2, if you guys win Worlds, we'll give you a bonus. We'll give you X amount on top. But I have no idea why this has always been a thing, how players always get the prize money. Now, I know if you don't have an org, then obviously you can get the prize money.
Well, then you get all the prize money, yeah.
Exactly. And that's why, because you don't have a salary, hey, you get 100% of the prize money. So that can add into it. And then you could have teams like how, I know, not everyone knows, I guess Astralis in Counter-Strike, they were basically made an org out of themselves. They just became their own, fully functioning org from the players who all took a cut, so they could get 100% of the prize pool. I think if you sign to an org, and especially when you're on these massive salaries, I think a part of that is, hey, you're guaranteeing this is how much money you're going to be able to earn. You might be able to sign some bounties, some performance incentives, some bonuses if you're able to do well. But I think the reason why you're getting paid a lot is because you're expected to go far in tournaments and do a lot, hence win more prize money and get more return on investment for that org. I think that's just how like esports should work. I just think it's weird compared to other sports, just regular sports that we're just pay us and we'll take all the prize money.
They want both. They want their salary and they want all the prize money. And it's like, okay, now I can see why that business isn't profitable, because you're just paying people to not actually make you any money back. But if you pay people and then you're taking most of their prize money, that could be a profit. And like guaranteed money, like monthly salary, is consistent. It's what do you call it? It feels like a lot more secure than, oh my goodness, we're an orgless team, I hope we win money this weekend playing Rocket League. It's just a lot easier to produce results if you have that stable income and you have that bootcamp support, all this org support, and like CJ said, bonuses for doing well. There's still a lot of money in RLCS. I mean, you just look at the prize money all these players have made. If orgs were taking more prize money, like I think they should be taking the lion's share prize money to remain profitable, and then to put more of that money back in, inject it back into the team. That's an easy way to make it sustainable, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I don't think, like, the thing is, this issue is not, like I said, I don't think it's easily fixable, because it goes back to all the way
it's like it's already like happened like this for so long. Yeah,
not just that, but because it makes sense. If you start from the like back in the days, like the salaries were not even close to being high. That pretty much the whole money you were making were out of cash prize. So like if an org was taking the lion's share of your cash prize, you were losing money by signing to an org, because you were getting more cash prize if you were by yourself and your own team you're by yourself.
But could that be a decision, Ferra? Do you think that could be a conscious choice for some players to stay and some teams to stay independent?
I think at some point, like some players will accept to leave, and it's been that way. Like at some point in Europe, most orgs were not taking any cash prize, and this started to shift recently. More orgs have started negotiating this into their contract, and it's happening more and more. And I assume this situation is gonna keep going that way, but it takes time. You know what I mean? It's like it takes time, and because we're in the situation, and because some orgs also like are not ready to want to use that as like we don't want to make money out of the game. We are ready to lose money. You're kind of competing against like different entities that do not have the same goals. Like some orgs are ready to lose money, some orgs want to be profitable, and at the end of the day, like it creates some unbalance. And players and agents will take advantage of that, and it makes sense from their perspective.
It's great for the players. That's a problem. It just doesn't. It's the equivalent of. I'm going to go another analogy. It's the equivalent of like a really good car salesman getting paid a lot of money to sell cars, but also getting the majority of the sales from the car. Like if you work in a company, it's a team. This is a team sport. The better you are, you're going to get paid more of a monthly salary.
Wait, that doesn't mean anyway. Isn't that just commission?
But you say you get most of it. You don't get 80% commission. Yeah, you get like that.
Yeah, so that's what you should get, a little bonus. You get bonuses the better you do, but it doesn't mean that you should also, I don't know, I think this whole stigma around, these orgs are taking 20, 30% instead of 20%. I think, like we said, there should be a balance there. If you aren't a big team, you're not doing as well, you probably shouldn't sign to an org because you can get your prize money. Or do you value the boot camps? Do you value the exposure, if you would, or do you the monthly salary?
The content boost. There's like branding boost to join a team like KC, so there's other value there. It can be a symbiotic relationship. They can help each other, like teams, orgs, players, TOs. But what I think is happening right now, and I don't have the behind the scenes information on this, I'm kind of learning as we go here. But what I think is happening is, the orgs are saying, okay, enough is enough. We need to make our money as well, which is totally fair. But I think the way that it's going to go down is just going to make these community tournaments, they're just not going to feature any of the big orgs anymore. If this is like where the line is, then no community TOs with a 20k prize pool are going to be able to afford any of the big orgs, because it's probably going to be more expensive than that. So if they're not interested in like joining for free and then having like ownership of the content and like streaming their run and stuff like that and using their sponsors, there won't be any big orgs in community tournaments of this size. That's just how it will be.
I understand why, like I understand, why people are disappointed because, like I think they wanted to see the best teams play in this tournament, but I think both sides have to be, like at the end of the day, like
Ferra, do you see how you're saying? So
I understand, and I was gonna say, but the thing is, those are like I'm going back to my point earlier. Like those orgs, they've been in the scene for a long time. We've played many third-party tournaments, so I think they've had the data on what a tournament like this bring to them in terms of viewer, in terms of audience, in terms of how much they're able to make money out of, like or like make content out of, like make stuff that is valuable for them. And at the end of the day, I guess like they ended up concluding, yeah, we've been doing this for years. It's not working the way we want, and we cannot keep doing this. Otherwise, we will keep being in the same situation. So we need to make a change. And that's probably why we're in the situation now, being like, okay, we want more tournaments, sure, more, tournaments that we feel bring value to us as well, just like we bring value to a tournament, which is actually a very different approach than back in the days in esports, where like every org was trying to make it big. But nowadays, like some orgs are really able to make it by themselves. Like we, like Casey, Gentlemates, they're able to run events by themselves. Like they're able to do their own stuff. They're able to. They do not need
sell out their own arenas.
You just run your own tournament.
So that's the thing. Like you cannot put every org in the same basket. Just like I've seen people say, okay, all of the orgs are losing money. That's not the case. Like I think the French orgs, they're showing that they found something good in esports. They're able to market it very well. I see people with like KC jerseys very often in the street, very often at my gym, or like other orgs. Sometimes I see Solari jersey even. Like esports is being made more and more popular in France, and like people care about it more and more. And I think like we're finding the right way to make something out of it, like something that can actually make money for people, and that can actually pay salaries for not just players, but like for people who we will work in it. And I think this is the right way. So like, if these orgs are like commonly like saying, yeah, we don't want to take part in this tournament because we don't feel it's, I don't know, like the reason at the end, like maybe some of them don't have the same reason, but like all of them decided to not participate. At the end of the day, hey, I trust them because like the way I see esports now and over the last few years been like changed because of them. Like the value they're bringing, the investment they have in people, like people really care about it. They're able to get a lot of engagement. I think that's the right way to go, and we should, realistically speaking, like follow that if we want more events like what happened in I don't know, LANdon, Copenhagen, even Düsseldorf like last year. Like there is
can I ask you about that then, Ferra? Because that's the obvious like follow on from this. That's what I wanted to get to, is because if this were to happen with RLCS or other bigger tournaments, because like I said, if this is where the line is, no community TOs will be able to afford big orgs. Simple as that. That'll be way over the budget. Not possible. But if the budget is there, that will come out of Prizepool, because that would be org player compensation, participant compensation. You can't take your appearance fees out of hotel costs, flights, venue costs. Those are like costs that you need to pay. So the only money that you can really move around is prize money, pretty much. So if the orgs wanted to do that with, well, it would be prize money, or maybe, I don't know, you fire half the casters and now you've got a little bit more money that you can afford, or I don't know, you buy a smaller venue. Like I'm saying, if you want to put on the same product, the only other dollar that you can move is the prize money. I think I'm still here, but yeah, that is the same. That's the compensation to the players, to the orgs, the teams. Prize money is what how the org wants to split that up with their players, up to them. But it would kind of make it just okay. There's a big event on. And now the prize money is like this much. It would just be way less, and there would actually be hidden prize money in the appearance fees under the table, and that would just kind of, I think it would make it way less hype and interesting to the casual fans because it's the same
Really?
compensation. Yeah, it's the same money, exactly the same money getting paid.
Okay.
Like to the T. The compensation would be the same. I'm saying this is the pot of money. This is prize money right
Yeah.
now. This is appearance fees. Nothing. If
I
we made
I
appearance fees bigger, then the prize money would be smaller. So it would just be the same compensation,
I
just in a
do not
different way.
know. I think it's very opinionated. Like I don't think there is a right answer. But when I look at other esports, like specifically because we talked about it before the call, the League of Legends scene, they don't have prize pool. Like they don't share prize pools. League of Legends doesn't share prize pool. Valorant doesn't share really prize pool. I don't think.
Well,
Or
but
maybe
okay, the
maybe a little
difference,
bit. But like
Farah,
it's not the main
I
thing.
can tell you why
Like,
though. It's because it's closed though. They have like leagues, they have closed systems. We have an open system, so you need prize money, or else all of the like non-org teams, all the non-org players have zero. Like you're not going to pay a non-represented player an appearance fee to play. Like they're just not
no,
represented.
true.
They don't
True.
bring any value. So if we're going to keep it open, you need there to be a prize pool. Otherwise, there's nothing to play for, and no one outside of an org would sign up. No one outside of appearance fee would sign up because it's like, what is the point? We're literally wasting our time now. Yeah, we can win the world championship, but we've got $0
Yeah, but
to show for it.
at the end of the day, just like you said earlier, like no matter the prize pool today, players get the most part of it. So like no matter what,
That's what I'm saying. I think the problem is that orgs are not taking that and saying. I think that the line that on the difficult conversation that these orgs could be having right now is, hey players, this isn't profitable. We want to keep supporting you. We actually want to support you more per month, give you more regular money, more regular support, but it's going to come at the cost of prize money. We're going to move the the pointer to here. That's, I think, accomplishing the exact same thing without reducing prize pools and actually giving players more stability. So that's,
I'll be
I think,
honest. I
my
don't
solution.
think I don't think this is gonna change anything towards third-party tournaments. Like this can change a lot about like how you monetize your like team and how you're able to cut costs when it comes to bigger tournaments, which are RCS and AWC, for example, like tournaments with the big prize pool. But when we're talking about like third parties tournament, that's not the main issue, I believe. And like prize pool is just it's not like it's not gonna make a difference from an org perspective, I believe, because what they want is the ability to say, hey, we bring value. We believe we bring a lot of value. We believe you're going to be able to sell your product much more expensive because of us. We want a part of that, not the cash price that you were ready to put anyway. You know what I mean?
Let me wrap this in before we move. I've got a question now. Firstly, I just think the business model of esports could be a discussion for ages about how exactly we're going to be able to fine tune this to work for orgs and whatnot. I fully agree that these French orgs bring a lot. They bring 30K, 40K viewers. The original question though that I had at the start of this was that these tournaments, right? They're practice for the World Championships. So taking our org hats off and putting on our coach's hat for Ferra, our player's hat for Jack. At what point does this, if you're a Keiko or just whoever you are, if you're a team that want practice because this is for the World Championships, you want to stay warm, you want to stay hot, you want to keep improving. At what point is this going to impact, Jack? Say if your org says you can't play because they're not paying us money, and you going, hey, well, we actually need the practice for Worlds. Like, at what point is there a crossover here where the players need to be playing, these teams need to be playing to practice, and it could hinder, their ability to perform at Worlds?
Good question, but then why don't we just run ESL tournaments again, playing for like $150? Like, yeah, like we could play for
the
anything.
best teams in
No,
the
but
big
the
tournament.
question, I think that's not really the. I mean, that they can happen. All the tournaments can happen. Like at the end of the day, tournaments have to appeal to orgs and players. If a tournament isn't interesting to players, if it doesn't look that like useful to them, whether it's practice, money, stream content, whatever, then they're not going to play. They're not going to want to play. But if there was like a prize pool cut that we're talking about, then the org wouldn't really, I think, have any reason to say no, don't play. Because if they let the team play, they might make more money. It's as simple as that. The org would be like, yeah, go for it, yeah, play. There wouldn't be this like stop from the org saying actually we're it's not worth it for us, because it would be worth it. They would be making some money. The players would be making some money. They'd be getting practice in, or they could just decide, you know what, it's too small, not worth it, because that's what happens with most community tournaments. Most community tournaments are too small for big orgs to want to play.
But
it is the biggest tournament in that 3-week window. There hasn't
isn't
really
that the
been
point
anything
of
either
a
side.
community tournament? No, like to me, like the Shift League is not a community tournament anymore because it's supposed to appeal to like pro teams, like the whole
Well, when I
entirety of
say
like the
community
pro
TO, I
teams.
mean run by a community TO. It's not like a
Yeah,
big
okay.
org like an EFG or like a, you know, a Blast coming in and saying
Yeah,
we're
okay.
running a Rocket League tournament. It's like a community. I think Shift are all grassroots Rocket League people for the most part. So that's kind of what I mean when I say community tournament. If like, you know, if we've run tournaments for Chalkcast, if we run a Chalkcast tournament, that's not, we don't have a big, you know, sponsor, big tournament history. It's just us being, hey, we're going to run a tournament. Who wants to play? Team doesn't want to play, all good. You know, that's kind of how the conversation has gone in the past. Players not interested, all right, good. Have a good day. But I think there's, yeah, I think the loser, the big loser here will be community TOs like Shift Summer League, and other similar TOs like that, who just simply cannot afford it, and
Yeah.
they're going to take the hit for this.
At the end of the day, yeah, that's true. Yeah, sorry.
You're good. I just want to bring this up because like hearing this, and if I were to host a tournament, I'm like, okay, I have 50K and I want to either host a tournament NA or EU, and I know that I have to, like, it makes sense. I will say, like, it does make sense, the value that orgs bring, specifically
sure.
the French orgs. But if I have 50K and I'm like, okay, I can host an event in NA and EU, I would probably just go to NA simply because I know I have to pay fees if I go to EU. Like, that's just coming from a community perspective.
What if the NA tournaments
just be
or teams also wanted
logic.
fees? Where would we go then? We're gonna go
Then
to
I
OCE.
have a 25K prize pool and 25 for fees or something. That's how it would go. I
Yeah.
guess then I'm just shit out of luck. But if that's the way it goes, then that's the way it goes. But I don't think I could even predict how, you know, the future would look with that as well. It'd just be hard to guess.
At the end of the day, I believe, like from, you know, like at the end of the day, we come back to what I think Genji CEO was saying with how, you know, orgs, I guess, lose money on Rocket League, and the community tournaments, they're not gonna save that. Like, generally speaking, like it has to come from either the orgs reducing costs in a way, like somehow, but it's really hard because some orgs are ready to lose money, as I said,
Yeah.
or or like every org is gonna be like Liquid and just leave the scene at some point, or Phoenix and more importantly like Epic Games is gonna have to make some big changes to format and their own, you know, whole system, and, you know, the whole way they're able to monetize the game for orgs right now in order to generate more revenue for orgs to be able to invest in the game, which is, I'd say, the main issue. The main issue is not the community tournaments, which happen and they should happen, but we should not be forced to play them. And, you know, as much as me, you know, I like competing, and I you know, in a way, if we were allowed to play in this one, maybe we would have played in it. That would have been good practice, but we can find good practice in many other ways. So it was not, you know, a big necessity if that's what that's what you were asking. But I think the main issue we've had since the end of last year is how, yeah, we're deviating towards something that is not healthy for orgs, you know, as a format, and as, you know, the main competitive circuit is very poor right now. Like, we started in February and most teams have finished in May. Their whole season is done and they have to wait until February again, probably, or like January maybe. There is no announcement for next season. There is nothing yet. Overall, I think as an org, you want your whole and main circuit to be very, very solid. And right now it's not the case yet. Because of the format, because of many things, because of the budget costs. You know, at the end of the day, money is tight for everyone, I guess. So everyone is trying to make money out of it. And yeah, I believe right now, yeah, well, the you know, the Shift League is just a small issue in a bigger part of the problem, which is, hey, Rocket League is not making money for orgs, and they're just trying to, yeah, find a way to be able to themselves be sustainable, you know. Just like Rocket League is trying to be sustainable, just like
it's making a
Shift
lot of money
is trying
for
to
pros, though. Like, we can all say it's
yeah,
making
true.
a lot of money for pros. Like, so if pros are making 5-figure salaries and 6-figure prize pools, That's a lot of money. So I'll tell you who's making out the best out of all this is the pros who are
Yeah.
signed by big orgs.
Yeah,
so
you
I
stay
mean,
quiet
I
over
think
there,
you're
Jack.
coming for the wrong guy.
Huh?
I don't think Shift League's making any money.
Hey,
I'm gonna be
looking
honest.
pretty good
I'm
over there,
making no money.
Jack.
I think you're coming to the wrong guy. I think the pros. I
80%
think you gotta.
prize cut.
Oh, I'm not
Yeah, you
coming
gotta
at
be
Shift.
coming at. You gotta come at Jack. Jack's got all your money. That's where it's at.
40k salary
Get
per
the
month.
players.
Looking pretty
get
good
the-
over there, Jack.
Don't get the TOs. Get the players. Get the
But
players are the they're the bad guys.
I'm a culprit as well. You know, I'm a coach. I'm on salary, and that's the thing. Like I think players and coaches and most of the playing side, he's gonna be and has to be on the org side in this debate. I will say, even though like most orgs, like some orgs will disagree in the way, like we've seen, like Resolve CEO is probably not happy about the way this has been handled and bunch of things. But at the end of the day, Shift is not paying for my salary. Shift is not paying for Jack's salary. Rocket League or Blast.
Well, they're
or
paying. They could be
Epic
paying
Games,
Jack's prize money though. They could be paying
They
Jack's prize
could.
money a little bit.
if they
or
if
maybe
he
a lot.
wins, if he wins.
Top
Because
six.
don't take that from him; he'll go broke. Oh my God.
Same for Epic Games. They're not paying my salary. At the end of the day, like a lot of people are like needing for orgs to pay for their salaries and just to pay for their livelihood, because they're not gonna, like, Epic Games is not gonna do it. They can do it through Prizepool, but that's it. And right now they cut the Prizepool by a lot. Prizepool is not something you can really rely on. So orgs bring this kind of stability that a player or a coach or any staff needs. And and at the end of the day, if they feel something is necessary for them to be sustainable, I think that's what the players will need in the end.
I just don't know if it's like the right play from the orgs to be trying to extract this from like Johnny said, community TOs, which is what Shift is. Like if it was a tournament, if it was a massive brand like Samsung kind of coming in and just like hosting a tournament, I think it would be more, it would make more sense to try and extract appearance fees from that. Gone.
I will say, I think that's one of the issues with this tournament. Like, to be honest, like there is something. Yeah, I won't just go on. Otherwise, I'm gonna say stuff that I cannot say. So yeah.
No.
Jack, what you're saying is Jack's going, guys, I'm making a shitload over here, so I don't think extracting it from the poor third party TOs is where it's at. Without saying it, guys, it's pretty good as a player. So maybe just suck a little bit of juice out of our little pot, and we can all be happy.
Look, I'm holding tight onto my stuff over here, but I just think it's like Ferra, I'll use what is it that Casey hold? KCX, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Right.
KCX, yeah.
Yeah. So KCX, I presume how it works is that from my understanding, there's no prize pool, right? It's an event that's ran by the org. They would pay other teams to come. They would pay them an appearance fee to come to their tournament, to play in front of their fans.
I do not know if they're paying an appearance fee, to be honest. Like,
I'd be very surprised.
I do not know.
I
do not.
I cannot speak. Never mind.
I know of orgs. I know of orgs and players.
G2
I
got
do
paid.
know of
I'm
orgs
saying.
and players
They have
who
to
have
be. I'll tell you
flown.
this much.
No, they don't have to be. I'll tell you. I definitely know. I'm not going to expose anyone, but I do know orgs and players in Rocket League who have flown across continents to play for free. No prize money, no appearance fee, nothing. So it does happen. But I don't want to name any names.
All the way to all the way to the southern hemisphere.
Okay,
that's fair.
I'll just say the opposite.
You
Though.
idiot!
It does
Sorry,
happen
King
for
of-
free, but there have also been like appearance fee offers as well for like the same ordeal or similar ordeals. I will say. I don't know about a case.
I don't think they're offered out of the
point-
gate, but if they ask them, I get it. Sorry, Jack, but yeah, please go on.
My point is that if a tournament has a prize pool, I think that is a fair one-to-one kind of offer from what the teams potentially get playing in it and what the tournament organizer potentially gets from the teams playing in it. I think that's like a fair transaction, like a one-to-one transaction. I feel like if a tournament organizer is trying to get a team play in their tournament, they have to give them something in return for someone else. That's just how things work. if they're giving them an appearance fee, they shouldn't be offering out a prize pool, if that makes sense to me. Or at least, like Johnny says, it should be coming out the same pot of money, which means
Well, I know that it does.
allocating the money.
That's where it comes from.
So
That's where it comes from.
would get lower.
Yeah.
I think it all goes. I think the main point is that the thing is the orgs, Casey, Jammates, whoever it is, Vitality, they're not actually coming out and complaining that they're not getting an appearance fee as well as the prize pool. So it's not like they're being horrible about it. They're just asking for it, which I just don't think is business. I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world. That's what I'll say.
That's the thing. It's you're exactly right. Like no one is complaining about it. At the end of the day, the teams are not going to be playing in it. Just like many teams have declined by the past for various reasons. Yeah, and that's the end of it. Like if we want practice, we will find a way to do it. We can even run our own tournaments. Like, I agree. When it comes to LAN specifically, when it comes to LAN, scrims are really fine.
But I think the difference is that this time there's writing on the wall for other tournaments, other maybe bigger tournaments. This is not just like a team saying, "Hey, we don't want to participate because we're too busy with school or don't want to play or we're just going to focus on scrims." That there's a difference between that and a team saying, "Actually, we want an appearance fee to play," because then that makes everybody think, "Hold on, what else do they want an appearance fee for? Are we going to see like no KCA anymore, no Vitality anymore, Noah? Is this going to spread to other teams? Are we just going to have like a totally different scene?" That's why people are freaking out a little bit. Because of what it could do, and nobody knows. It's like what is happening here. It's quite unclear where this is going to go.
I think the bottom line is I think the bottom line is that everyone understands that the orgs aren't it's not sustainable and something needs to change. But we've been talking about it. I've been on this podcast a year ago and talked about how even if it does like benefit me, the player prize pool to the org prize pool split is very weird. As long on top of getting salary, on top of getting prize pool is a bit strange.
Let me guess as well, Jack. You make all that money from your YouTube and Twitch as well. You get all that.
Okay.
Unbelievable. How do these orgs survive?
I know this sounds like some bad business, but I mean, Ferra is right. The reason that's been allowed to happen is because esports has been kind of doing that for a long time. Because initially, especially in bigger esports a long time ago, they didn't want to make money. It was all like venture capital. It's just an investment in the future. It'll make money eventually, and they're not even spending their own money anyway. They're just spending venture capital, spending investors' money, and then whoops, where did it all go? We don't know. Let's go find some more dumb investors who are gonna try and hope that esports suddenly blows up and becomes mega profitable. And now here we are, where we're like, wait, well, it hasn't happened yet. I mean, there's definitely money to be made, but it's not making as much money as it should be making. So that's the problem. Is these orgs, content orgs, want to make money sustainably now, trying to build up a foundation of sustainability, whereas the blueprint that's been laid out and the kind of system that's been told to every pro and every scene in esports is, we're just going to pay you lots of money to keep winning prize money. In fact, we're going to spend a lot of money on you as well to help you win that prize money. Not going to take any cut of your content, so you're basically just going to get a lot of stuff for free, and hopefully one day that becomes profitable for us. In some cases, like Ferra said, some of the esports orgs don't even care. They're just like, we're just losing money, and that's cool.
It's still the case today. Some orgs are able to throw offers around without really caring about the ROI. At the end of the day, it makes it hard for people to compete with that, and some are able to, but it comes at a cost. It comes at a cost, which I don't think as Jack said, I don't think it's like the shift participation is. It's not the end of the world, right. And like we've seen it with at the beginning of the season. I don't know if you guys remember, there was this Oxygen tournament that Oxygen flown to NA to beat every NA team, and at the end of the day, no one cared. Everyone was like, it's an off-season tournament. Who cares? They beat everyone. Who cares? So if people don't care, you cannot expect another to be like, we really need to take part in this. We absolutely need to be part of this. I understand both points. People want to see good Rocket League, but they have to show that they care for it in a way. More importantly than just saying, it's an off-season tournament. We don't care. We just have fun watching it.
Hopefully there's some kind of solution in the pipeline with orgs, because the orgs do matter. They do bring a lot. Hopefully they can start to 100% figure out solutions, because I think there's definitely some very creative ideas there somewhere. We might theory craft them on another Chalkcast, but for now we have to move on and talk about
current events.
Ahmad has retired. Let's talk about that, because he's retired. You made a long tweet about it. I'll put it in the chat right now, or actually, does someone else have it handy? I don't have it on me. But Ahmad's retired. And hey, before y'all say we read chat, we didn't steal this idea. CJ made some notes about this. Don't you even worry. We've had
This is
this
the most
waiting to be spoken about.
Most prepped I've ever been. Yeah,
It actually is.
It came it came to a bit of surprise. Obviously, Ahmad, I guess we went off the Falcons and but it was still, I don't want to say the writing was on the wall or something, but obviously there was a new, some new talent got emerged. Obviously with Naopo, I was going to say the Twins coming through. And it just feels like it's a bit of a changing of the guard in Mina. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but yeah, I still would love to have seen him stick around and go on one more season. I think the veteran experience is always huge for any region. We saw what some damage it does to regions like OCE when a lot of these experienced players retire. But he kind of mentions in his tweet here, never thought he'd sort of finally be writing this, but he has been playing for a long time, thanking everyone. Was fully his own decision. You guys will be able to check the tweet. We'll chuck a link in the chat for you guys. But he also want to apologise to his team for the sudden decision as well. So it wasn't something that was in the works. He just kind of made the decision. And he'd like to stick around in esports in Rocket League. So
they didn't make Worlds, so that's probably where he decided, okay, now's the time. Because they didn't make Worlds, and like Ferra mentioned earlier, the next season's not announced, so it's like it is a long time before there's another RLCS thing going on. But yeah, I mean, yes, his RLCS career was 2-3 seasons, was it 3? I can't remember. Were they in 2020? Yeah, 3 seasons. Yeah. So it's not the longest time, but his career as a MENA player, KSA player was years before that, and without him, I don't think MENA would have been in RLCS as early as they were. So Ahmad is one of the most influential players in MENA history and always will be. He's been at the top for so long. I don't know what the actual time was when him and Khaled first started actually teaming together unofficially, but I'm pretty sure if you count that time where they were unofficially basically teaming together, not in an org, and you go all the way to the time where they stopped teaming together, add on the bit where they reteamed, they're the longest standing duo in the game. So no two players played together longer. They played a long time. So yeah, it might come as a bit of surprise, but me reading this, I wasn't like, whoa, where did that come from? Because he's been at the top of MENA for years, like 7 years or something, 6.5 years or something silly.
Yeah.
Number one most of that time. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah, there has been the new generation come through. He's probably quite satisfied that MENA's in good hands. KSA's in good hands.
Yeah, I mean, it is a long time. What was the old team called before Sandrock? Johnny, do you remember?
Hashtag Warriors, I think.
Yeah, I was trying to find Warriors. On Wikipedia, but no, definitely, you're right. I mean, he's definitely you'd go as far to say is not just one of the most influential players in MENA, but one of the most influential players just in Rocket League. You can make an argument for it just for getting pretty much a whole region on the map, obviously, along with Khaled and another player, I think. But
Senzo, yeah.
Senzo and someone else. But yeah, so yeah, definitely did a ton for the game. I think he says it's out of nowhere and he apologizes for his team, but would they have had anything else to play in apart from the World Championship, which they didn't qualify? Was there any Saudi leagues? I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Not sure, honestly. I think Saudi League just finished so they just finished one of their tournaments, so there's probably not another one for a while.
Yeah, EWC potentially.
Does EWC have more than 2 mini teams though? Because if it's just 2 mini teams, maybe they're just inviting the top 2 from RLCS points and they're not getting in. But I'm not sure.
There's usually a few extra mini teams, I think, at those events, but I can't remember. But yeah, he definitely could have played at the top at least for another season. I think he was still very good individually, kind of thing. So yeah, it was a little bit of a surprise, but not a massive one. Yeah, you got to remember players want to. How old was he? How old is he? Like 20, 21?
Ahmad, how old is he? That's a good question. Probably 21.
Even 22.
Damn, 21. Yeah, he's getting up there.
He's 21. He's going to be 20.
He's getting up there.
22.
Right.
22.
Hang on. That's what I'm getting too soon. Let's hold off on that. But yeah, he's probably at that age. People do start thinking about it, right? I guess so.
No, it couldn't be us. Couldn't be us, Rizzo. Couldn't be us.
Wait, how old are you, Jack? People start thinking about it at 21. You said, how old are you?
I'm turning 21 in like 2 months.
What the heck?
What?
Are you gonna
The,
start
those
thinking about some
those
things?
thumbs are gonna slow down, boy.
No, I'm good. I'm all right. But
Sorry, he's already built up a huge retirement fund from his player salary, prize money.
Yeah,
he's already receiving his pension.
He has rinsed Gen G and Dignitas. Let's just say that it is great. Nah, look, for Ahmad though, great. As you said, a pillar of the esport. I think we have to say, ever since that iconic goal back in Sweden where Johnny just went, ever since that point, I mean, well, even
CJ's
before
voice
that,
just cut off for anyone else.
Yeah, it
Just-
sounded so
Yeah.
weird.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, iconic figure, pillar of MENA, a founder of the MENA region, and yeah, will hopefully stays around in a coaching capacity or something. Hopefully stays around in the esport. But these things do happen as these players just get to the ancient age of 21. There is another retirement I have to add on here, which is a little bit more surprising, and that is Chiefs Finn. Yes, Finn, who was just at LANdon, has also retired after making his LAN debut 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, who only just came on the scene in 2020. He was always around the mark. He worked so hard to finally get there. He was 3rd, 4th in OCE for so long, and finally gets to LAN. Obviously, they don't make Worlds, and he's retired. So I think that's a massive shame, and I don't really know what happened there, the decision, but Chiefs put a tweet out as well. And yeah, he's obviously people only really knew him from LANdon, from making his debut. But
Is he in uni? In OS? Is he like studying? Or because yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Ahmad and Finn. They're both 21. I'm thinking, that's kind of like okay, getting to the end of uni. Maybe it's time to, if you're going to go down that road, it's time to take it serious. I don't know though if either of them are studying at this moment.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
someone in
don't
chat
know.
knows.
He just tweeted, it was all we have is from the Chiefs saying best of luck with life after Rocket League. So clearly, yeah, maybe uni, moving on with life and stuff. Maybe that was just his goal to make an international event, and he did that. So good on him for getting there and making his own choice. But yeah, these things happen, I guess, in esports. You're always going to have people moving on, and I mean, we can go into the format, but a longer off season can do that when there's going to be, I guess, 6 months until the start of the next one. It's a lot of time to, I guess, just keep practicing for potentially no salary or stuff like that. So.
Good luck to both of them in the next thing that they're up to. Because I'm sure they're going to do great things. 21. Sold for Rocket League, but it's young for real life, so they're just getting started. I
think it's the right point. It's the right point to do something else, because if you wait too long afterwards, it gets harder and harder.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, it seems like a smart age to, if you want to make a move to real life, that seems like a good time to do it. So yeah. I hope they stick around though, as with all the retirees. Hope we still see them at events, and hope we still hear from them in the OC and the MENA scenes.
We're actually going to head to our little final segment here. It's weird saying segment, but we're so organized today that we actually have segments, and that's going to be our Patreon questions. We actually had a couple of you guys pre-jump some of these questions as well. So we appreciate that. We appreciate you guys getting active. Be sure to join the Chalkcast Discord if you haven't already. But this one comes from Void. It's a question to all of us, actually. If Rocket League were bought by another company, i.e. Riot, Valve, etc., who would you want it to be? And I think I'll take the lead here. Addicted to League of Legends currently, I'll say Riot. I want apparently Jack or KC, Ferra. I want one of them to win Worlds, and I want to be able to rock an apparently Jack signed car. $500
car. I'll pay
$500.
Exactly. That's the bare minimum that I would pay for that. Give me a Ferra signature on the side, something like that. Yeah, you would. I want to say
again though.
I want to score a goal and there be a voice memo from one of you guys to be like, "Hey, nice shot, kid." I just want it to be like right there. So every time I score, and that's what I want to pay for. So I would say Riot Games. They know how to monetize, that's for sure.
I don't really watch any other esports. I'm not gonna lie, so I'm not familiar with any other like game developers or whatever it is. So
Riot or Valve, I think as well. Like I think when it comes to Rocket League, because the culture has been pretty, openish. We want to make it open for everyone. it's more similar to how Valve operates with the CS and even Dota. Like I think our circuit is pretty close to the Dota one, and they've been pretty successful, especially with CS. I mean, even Dota, like TI is extremely successful, but for other reasons, mostly because of the prize pool. But CS has been widely successful, and I think the monetization aspect of it is the big part. How orgs make a lot of money with the CS stickers, mostly, like insanely huge amount of money.
You can tell that Ferra's in all of these ROI business meetings because he just knows where the profit is in esports. Yes,
brother.
yes,
every time I come to the show, I always tell myself I've learned more over the past 6 months, but I can't say even less and less every time, and it's frustrating.
No.
It's frustrating.
He's a senior executive
it's like,
now.
Yeah, kind of. But at the end of the day, I think I'm happy with the way things have been going for like esports in France, and I'm happy to see like the progress.
Johnny, you look like you have something to say. Johnny, what's on your mind?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to jump it. I don't want to cut anyone off or take away the microphone. Rizzo, we're just kidding. I see your hands up there for a minute.
Yes, I would like to change my answer to Valve actually because I want crates and gambling back.
Yeah,
you want
Valve.
What?
You want crates?
I said crates. I want crates back.
He wants keys.
The crates.
I want to be able. I want to be able to
open
a major sticker capsule, and it has Jack's or Ferra's signature in it. That's what I want said.
You are insane. You're just a content brain.
Something that you can sell. Something that you can sell.
Yeah, exactly.
Gamble responsibly. No, I think Valve is definitely the one there. I think that right, whilst their production is fantastic at the top level, obviously we see what they do with World, stuff like that, and MSI, but I think Valve's like open, what do you call it, like an open source, open plan sort of esports circuit with all these different TOs is really good. I think they're probably the benchmark, so well done to them. I have another question. This one is for Ferra. From Rise's dad. This is to do with the.
But is that a nickname or is it his actual name?
No, this is
it
actually,
could be his dad. We're not 100% sure, but
we haven't asked for a birth certificate. We never would. We never would ask for a birth certificate. Ferra, we did a recent Patreon bonus episode. By the way, patreon.com/shortcast if you want to see some bonus content on cuisines. We did a cuisine tier list. Now, Jack, I got one for you at the end here. But in this tier list, we had a heavily debated cuisine, which was the French cuisine. Now, Johnny was trying to...
No, let them guess. Let them guess. Which guys in chat? Who do you think? And Ferra and Jack, who do you think defended French cuisine?
Well, I just said
Rizzo,
it. You were
CJ and me. Yeah, I was shilling. Yeah, it was me.
Obviously, you were.
I tried. I tried. I was outvoted 2-1. I tried my best to say that French know what they're doing.
Can I just add to this? Basically,
they weren't having it.
I don't know if I really had like genuine French cuisine, and Johnny's explanation was basically bread.
Well, they do have good bread.
Breakfast is amazing.
Like good pastries, and I was like, I mean, that doesn't sound like amazing cuisine. Like it's good.
I was trying to think of stuff that you would know. I was like, what do these guys know that I can sell them on? I was like, yeah, the pastry game is up there. All of the baguettes are obviously legendary.
What's like a French
because
dish? Some hearty meal. Like what's that?
I mean, you could get the onion soup, but I don't know if you'll know what that is. Or you could get the escargot, but I'm not sure that's going to do it for you. Frog legs are phenomenal. They taste a bit like chicken.
Come on, snails. Now, Ferra, I want to ask though, we gave them a C tier. Johnny convinced us to bump French cuisine up to a B tier. Where do you find French cuisine?
But like, what's the highest? S or A?
S. S-A-B-C.
Yeah,
I tried A, didn't I? I said A.
No,
I'm pretty sure.
B's pretty fair. B's pretty fair. I would not rank them any higher because
Really? Why?
Because I prefer other cuisines, and I think we're not like most of the stuff that people find, like culturally French. I'm not a big fan of like snails, frogs, and whatever. Like
the frogs are good though. Come on.
You can't. Johnny always we have chicken feed in Korea. He's like, these are kind of nice. We have dried squid. He's like, I'd eat this for breakfast. Like, it's ridiculous.
No, frog legs are legit.
Every single food that's like normally disgusting. He's just like, this is actually delectable. I love this. This is amazing. I'm gonna have this tomorrow.
But then I think it's more like some regions in France have very good cuisines, but it's specific, like some of the mountains specifically, like they do some kind of like good cheese-based meals, which I really like. Like for example, aligo. I don't know if you guys know what it is. It's
How do you spell that?
ALIGOT.
GOT.
Yeah, and it's like
It's like
it's a mix between potatoes and cheese, pretty much. I would say.
Yeah, see, this just looks phenomenal. I can't believe that we put it in B tier. Like, what are we doing? Like, this just looks phenomenal. I think we need to revisit this and maybe revise.
I'm happy with my decision on that one. Jack, I have to ask you though. Extension onto that question. Not for the French cuisine, but as a dual citizen holder of NA and EU.
I talked about this on my stream earlier. If you're gonna ask
British or American cuisine.
Wait, so British or American? I mean, they're both awful, like genuinely awful. I'm not gonna lie.
It's true.
They are both really bad.
Where did we put them in the tier list? Did we put them both D? I think we might have done.
Both D.
Wait, what's the lowest?
I think it was like C. Like it was just.
I think it was like C. I think we just put.
Oh, we put them C.
Yeah.
Okay, so they were very mid, just not worth talking about.
I'd put English over it just because American bread is so sweet, and I just don't understand
dude, you said this on stream earlier today. I'm just gonna say there's so many types of bread. I don't know what sugar bread you're eating, but
nah, you guys, you got weird bread. Weird bread, cringe bread.
You got sweet bread, mate. You got sugary bread. I don't know what you're doing over there. But...
You got sweet bread, mate.
Over there, we're in the same state, brother. Oh, I guess you're okay. Never mind.
I'm over here right now, bro.
Aren't you coming back in like a couple days or something?
Yeah, but I've got 2 days left on my
fish and chips for lunch, fish and chips for dinner.
All right.
No, but genuinely, they're both awful. It's like comparing. I don't even know what to say.
But what's your guys' favorite cuisine then, Ferra and Jack? Because we talked about it a lot.
Italian or Korean or Japanese. Italian or Korean.
Yeah,
we had them both S tier. We had Italian and Korean S tier, so we agree there.
Then we agree there.
Italian on top.
Yeah, we agree. I think we had Japanese A tier.
Wait, Mexicans. Jack, did you say your highest?
It's gotta be Chinese. Good Chinese. That's
good little Chinese. What's your go-to Chinese order, Jack?
Honey chicken.
I don't know what I get. My parents just get everything, and then I just feast.
Bit of sweet and sour pork, bit of honey chicken, bit of Yeah, I'm with you.
Now we put Mexican S tier as well. Mexican's S tier.
Italian's overrated.
Oh, don't you dare!
No, it is.
No, it's so good. If you love like pizza and pasta, it's just.
It is, and everyone's gonna agree with me because it just is like pasta's pretty good, and then pizza's not all that. I'm not gonna lie.
What?
And after that,
you've been to Italy as well.
You've lost us.
Yeah, no, I've been to Italy, and I tell you, it was just so underwhelming compared to your expectations. So bad.
There's no way, as a fellow Italian visitor, it was the best.
Where were you? Where were you again? Were you in Milan?
Bro, you're used to sweet bread, mate. You won't be able to.
No, it's not just me. You have 3 people disagreeing with you. Ferra, what do you think? You just put it in S tier. That's 4 people.
Yeah, I disagree. It's
not just me and my
it's
sugar,
so
bro.
good.
It's literally. What do you eat apart from pizza and pasta in Italy?
It's so fresh though. It's so authentic.
Do you need much more than that, regardless? Like, it's
I agree. You don't need much more.
It's so
what
good.
else? What more do you need than Italian pizza?
Man.
That's about all you need.
It's just not that
good.
Mate.
But also saying pasta like it's...
No, I'd rather have beans on toast, bangers and mash. He's onto something, actually.
Yeah, good one. A pizza,
good one.
A pizza. No, look, I'm not like stating that the English food is better. I've not said that once. But everyone says Italian is like their best. It's just not. Pizza is not that good.
I don't believe what I'm hearing.
I disagree. I had the time of my life over there.
Right. Well, another question for pizza specifically. Ferra and Jack actually doesn't like pizza, so I already know the answer. But Ferra and Jack
I don't mind it, but it's just not that good.
Anchovies on pizza, yes or no?
What?
Anchovies.
What
I don't like anchovies.
Fish.
I mean, anchovy even sounds like a French word. Is it just like anchovy or something in French?
This is another one that me and Rizzo put D tier, but
can you write it down? Can you write it down?
I'm translating it right now.
Yeah, it's this.
Anchois
Oh no, I don't like it. No, I don't like it.
No?
No.
I'm devastated, man. What about olives? Olives on pizza.
No, I hate olives as well.
Ah, I'm so
Okay.
sad. I'm alone.
I like olives.
I'm the only one.
Johnny, you like everything, man. You were trying to get me to slurp up some oysters in Singapore.
I like oysters.
and
Don't
Oysters
say.
are phenomenal. What do
they
you
were
mean?
awful. They were so bad.
Jack was like smelling them before he eats it. You're not supposed to smell the oyster, bro. You're supposed to just slurp it up, slide it down.
You can get an idea.
Slide it down.
Slide that bad boy.
Just
Slide
slip
down
it
your
in.
gullet.
If you have to like preface something with saying don't smell this. Like I promise you it's good, but don't seriously don't
I mean,
smell it.
no,
It's
you're not supposed
that
to like,
good.
inhale the scent of the oyster before you try and eat it.
I'm
You were
just
just
saying,
like
if something
absolutely
doesn't-
going for it.
If something doesn't look good or smell good, it's probably not going to taste good. And it didn't hit any of the three there, so not gonna lie, wasn't that good.
One day, I'm sure you're gonna love oysters.
Looks like we need to get these boys back on just for a tier list. Cuisine tier list was around about. But another one for the patrons. This one is from Will. Now we could go on for ages with this. I just want a little quick take from both of you, Ferra and Jack, because we've spoken about this before, and that is with the Mobula situation, with what's happening in APAC, with Jack being a traitor to EU. What are your thoughts on players moving regions, and do you think that there should be some rules implemented, such as, you have to live there for X amount of time to be considered or to be able to play in a region, or 2/3 of the team has to be from that region? Do you think that there should be some sort of rule implemented?
Yeah, it's just pretty simple. 2/3 of the region, and after you stay in the season, after you stay in the region for a season, you're counted as that region player.
One season,
and then
okay.
and then you move back, and it's the same thing. So yeah, I think I've said that even before I moved, when I moved, and after I moved. So yeah.
So if you move back right now, you would have to spend a whole season. Like you would be considered an import in Europe.
Yeah,
from
I'd
your
say
point of
so.
view. Okay, yeah.
Oh, really? I thought you could always go back, like to your original region.
I think you stay there for a season, you're considered that person. Yeah, I'm getting.
Oh,
words mixed
sure.
up.
I
You
feel like
stay
surely you
there-
have to let people go
stay there for a
back.
reason.
That's harsh if
No,
somebody
no,
like
you
tries
can-
to
you
split
can
in
go-
NA. You're like, actually, I just hate it here.
Yeah,
I want to
but-
go home. Whether you're like, yeah, you can't play though.
No, it's not that you can't play. You just have to then go with 2/3 of people that have been there for a
Oh,
season.
I see. Okay, I see what you mean.
Which is going to be likely in your own region, to be
Yeah,
fair.
that is
So,
gonna
and-
likely. I see what you mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like the rule. I agree.
What about someone
I-
like Tho who went for one split? Sorry to cut you off before Jack finishes his explanation here. Does Tho count as APAC now because he played one split, or does he need to play
I
another
think it's a
split?
season.
a year, then a calendar year.
Yeah, a calendar year.
Okay,
so if it's
calendar
two
year.
splits
I'm with you.
or a full. Oh, sorry. A full season, full calendar year. Maybe that.
Mhm.
Yeah, but the ins and outs don't really matter as long as it's like somewhat of a year around there. I think it's fair to count that player as a regional player in that region.
Yeah. Yeah, because like the Mobula situation is not right. I don't think that's the way to go. I don't think that's good for anyone, to be honest. Like, especially because they're not even staying in SSA. It's not like teams that have gone to APAC where they've stayed there for a while and actually practiced with the teams there. Like the Mobula team is not even fully in SSA. One of them was playing from Europe.
One was in
No,
Spain.
one of
okay.
them was still in Spain actually. So
Okay.
Mhm.
yeah.
There you go.
I think a rule has to be set at some point. Like some line has to be drawn, and right now there is none. So it's not great.
The thing is, then you're getting into territory of players that are wanting, or teams, like the Fury situation from season 21-22 to go into NA in 22-23. The whole point was bigger salaries, better opportunities, kind of thing in a more established region at the time. So what do you do about that? That's the issue. But yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Region tier list.
Yeah.
You can move up. You can't move down.
Yeah, that gets a little messy.
Yeah.
I don't want to do
We'll
any
make the
tier
tier
list
list.
with Jack. I'm gonna be honest.
what's he saying?
After his food take, I don't want to do a tier list with him.
Go
Yeah.
eat, mate, go eat your sweet bread. Go eat. You've got some bread to eat, mate. All right.
All right, fellas, that is going to wrap it up. That was the final question that we were going to be reading here today. We appreciate you guys so much for watching, for listening. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you to Ferra and Jack for joining us as well. If you missed any part of this podcast, be sure to check it out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube as well. We appreciate you guys as always, and we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Peace. Patreon.com/shortcast.